Hey, so I've been up to the things, I've been running around and seeing music and stuff. I've been out more probably the last 6 weeks or so than I have in ages, and I'm a little bit tired, just a little bit, but I'm having a ball. Um, what it's calling to me now, or showing to me now, is a need to get a little tighter with my organization and management, so that while I'm not being attentive to other things, so I have to get more systems in place, um, in terms of structure, which means, yeah, for a little while, I did things when they felt good, and that's great. But the next step is doing things because they need to be done, you know. And some of those things, like writing, is always enjoyable to me, but what I'm writing sometimes, like there are essays that I want to do that have I might add a paragraph here and there or a few sentences here and there, but because I have so many written things in progress, like I tinker, and on the one hand, yeah, I'm getting it done. They'll get done eventually, I guess. But I don't know. Like, it seems to me like multiplication is a much more efficient process than addition. So, what that says to me is if I concentrate efforts on a couple, I'm freeing up, like that energy that I was trickling in those other two, or the rest of them, I could double down or add to two, and multiply my effort in these smaller areas and accomplish more. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Just have to pick which ones. I'm really excited about the novel I started. It's called The Midlife, um, and it's lots of meaning in mid like my current age, midlife, mid like average, middle, what's that, like life in the middle, of lots of things, in terms of position in family, socioeconomic status, things like that. Uh, Mid, like, not great weed. Sorry. So that's the novel, that I'm working on. It's about two siblings in middle life, AA, African American siblings, loosely based on my brother and I, with whom I share an apartment. I'm really excited about that. It's fun. Um, and in my head, because I'd never written a novel before, um, when I first thought about it, I was like, oh, I'm going to write a book. And because there are times when I want to pump out an essay, or I could, if I'm excited about something, I could spit 500 words out without a sweat. So I was like, oh, I could, since I'm excited about this book, I can just go ticka, 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 and it'll be a book. Tony, hell no. Hell no. So much more complex than what I imagined. Now, there is history in this life where at the time when I usually discover things like that, like shit, this was harder than I thought, that I would shift goals. But I didn't do that because we're evolving. So what I did was learn what I didn't know. You know what I mean? Why is this hard for me? For a little while, you know what I mean? My ego had to cry. Why is this hard? Why can't we do it? This sucks. You know what I mean? Like, why don't I know? Why don't I know? But guess what? There are people who know. You know how I know there are people who know? Because there are books around, which means the people who wrote them have given some knowledge about how they did that thing. So, um, I'm grateful because I get, I look for breadcrumbs from my future self to tell me I'm on the right path. You know what I mean? And at the time of my shocking discovery that, you know, I could write a book of poetry, likely um, with a little more ease than a novel, because I have experience writing some poetry. Never a poetry book. Um, and experience, not as, anyway, I don't have to qualify that shit. Experience is experience on some level. Um, for my purposes, though, I'm saying that I have enough poems where I could easily put them into a book. I just haven't. Um, but the novel idea intrigues me because I am a story person. I love stories. Most of my poems end up as some sort of story form. At least lately, maybe when I was, younger, not so much. They would be like letters, me telling people off. But yeah, now it's just stories, and I enjoy that. So I want to expand on it. And my brain said, novel, short story. Now I don't know. In any event, it's longer than my 5-minute poems. So, and it includes dialogue and narration and all other stuff that books contain. So I had to find out things I didn't know, like character development. And I was like, oh, well, you just pick a name for the person. You have to make that person a person, which, it might be intimidating. And I'm not trying to say at all, like, I'm not claiming any kind of mental disorder, mental health disorder. I don't want to take credibility from actual conditions, but maybe as a creative, I'll say, as an air sign, as a Gemini, it's always tapes going on in here about what I'm looking at, things I've been through. So it's plenty of stories, you know what I mean? And plenty of characters, I'll say. I could have a character for each mood if I wanted. Um, so with that in mind, it kind of lowered the temperature a little bit on me, but I'm still not entirely sure who these people are. It's interesting seeing them come to life as I write, and that sounds crazy. Um, but I've heard other authors say it thanks to YouTube University. Have you ever heard of it? You can learn anything you want on a YouTube. I sound like a real old person on the YouTube, honey. Um, but yeah, you can learn anything you want on YouTube. And I just, what is this? What is that? What is character development? And the other thing I learned, and I hope somebody stayed this far, it's not necessarily that I didn't know these things conceptually. I just didn't know them by name. So I have that I would have done myself a disservice, you know what I mean, to not at least come to a point where I was able to realize, hey, the knowledge that I had needed some structure. You know what I mean? It needed something to make it solid. Like, so having a label to put on that knowledge gave me some place to put it. You know what I mean? Character development, how you make a person. And that just means, what is their personality? What are their pet peeves? Some authors go so in depth, they write whole biographies about their characters. Some people I saw have outlines and bullet points. I'm not that way, at least not at this stage. I have some ideas, and what I have is in my Google Doc is the little thing on the left pane that you can write notes, the summary pane, and as something comes to me, it's, oh, this person think blah 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 blah. This person might remind me of, and because I for myself, I'm the only one who need to understand my notes. Um, if I say this reminds me of Miss Carr, I know who Miss Carr is, and I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll understand the reference when I go back to it. So, yeah, I'm getting there. I don't know where there is, but noticing me willingly doing things that I once perceived as difficult or not possible, problematic, complicated. I don't know. You know, all of those things that would have caused me to switch goals at another time have happened, and I have not yet. So, yay me. And yay you if you notice some things like that for yourself. Developing your stick-to-itiveness on your own behalf for your own goal, right? Because farmers don't just sell their crops, they feed themselves and their families with the work that they do. Um, and themselves first, because if they're not healthy, nothing else happens. So if I'm not okay, then none of the other things are going to happen. Um, yeah, so as much as I'm excited about the goings and doings, it's important for me to be able to take note of where I can care better for myself and thereby my dream goals, projects, the things that I'm doing. And I love how things come full circle because now we're back at the top of the conversation where I say, I notice, where I can add some structure, you know what I mean? Get myself a schedule and do the things just because they need to be done. So I'm at the point now, I used to do it in school. Gym on Tuesdays meant on Tuesdays I'm going to gym, whether I wanted to be at gym or not. So writing is cool. And playing around on my yoga mat is cool, doing them as I feel. But I don't know that I'm getting the consistency um, that I would without a schedule. So I'm working on a little schedule for myself, which means for me that's applying a little pressure to myself because it was like, what do you mean? I don't want to have to. These aren't supposed to be have tos. Well, I mean, look. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want this, you kind of have to. So, are we getting ready to rediscuss our wants right now, Marquita? No. Then, you know what I mean? So, those are the internal conversations I'm having with myself. And, yeah, I guess. um, Yeah, because even stuff like this, making my little videos, was falling through the cracks. So, consistency is key. If you notice yourself off of something you felt like you ought, should, or once were doing and now are not, but wish you were, just start. Just start. The longer you have the conversation with yourself about what you're not doing, you're continuing to not do it. Shut up and do it at the next opportunity. Just like they tell you, if you miss your medicine, well, take it at the next dose. Or take it when you remember, unless it's too close to the next time. You don't want to kill yourself. But as far as your routines and things, if you're off, just start again. It's not that big a deal. Ain't no teachers around grading you. All right. I think I said enough. Have a great day.